What's up, sports bettors? We've been giving out a lot of NFL player props. The last video I did, we gave out Traquan Smith under 2.5 receptions in the NFL London game. And I have a bunch more player props for you, right? So we're going to be looking at data and teasing out some of the best player prop bets. There's lots of line movement in the NFL on Sunday, lots of great betting opportunities. And I'm going to be showing you, ideally, how to make smarter bets, as well as giving you some picks that make you some money, right? So that's really the goal of the OddsJam YouTube. The picks we've given out, not live. We're up 15K so far since the start of the NFL season, probably running a bit hot. But really the goal is to show you, give you sharp picks, but also kind of explain to you the strategy, right? How to make money long term, how you can beat the book long term. So the platform we're mainly going to be looking at today is going to be this one called ThriveFantasy. So the reason I like this platform is it was recently added into OddsJam. And what you'll notice is when you play a two-pick entry, you're playing at 3.6 times your payout. So in other words, to make that a little more clear, if we were to play this on Thrive, right, any two picks is going to be 100 to win 360. Okay, what you're seeing on Underdog is any two picks is 100 to win 300, right? The way all these platforms work is it doesn't matter what picks you select. It's always 100 to win 300, right? So on PrizePicks, it's 100 to win 300, right? So what's fascinating about Thrive Fantasy is you kind of have a massive leg up, right? When you're betting 100 to win 360 as opposed to 100 to win 300, the implied odds you're getting are a lot better. So we've kind of gone through the math behind Thrive Fantasy. I'll put an article kind of in the description breaking down how these odds work between platforms. But because PrizePicks is giving you 100 to win 360 as opposed to 100 to win 300, which is on PrizePicks and Underdog, the implied odds on a two-pick entry is just minus 111, right? So you're looking for value at minus 111, right? If you're playing a two-pick on Thrive Fantasy, which is exactly like PrizePicks, and again, you should get more bookmakers because they're all different. You never know when there's going to be, better betting opportunities, but when you're betting 100 to win 360, you're essentially getting minus 111 juice on both sides, like you can see right here with a little parlay calculator. It's like you're betting, it's essentially like you're playing. So if we just go to WinBet very briefly, it's essentially like you're playing, most point spreads are minus 110, minus 110. The odds come out to 264. So it's 100 to win, 264 in profit, 360 total. So it's basically like you're taking two, minus 110, minus 110 juice spreads. But anyways, let's get into some of the picks. So what I'm going to do is just kind of refresh OddsJam and take a look at Thrive Fantasy. So I'm just filtering for picks on Thrive Fantasy. And there is some value out there. We got some MLB plays, stuff like that. The first one, it's an ARB to FanDuel. We can take a look at it. It is going to be minus 111 for Christian Kirk under 5.5 receptions. So again, on OddsJam, it's completely free, regardless of the state you're in, to browse odds between sportsbooks, which is critical, right? Because as an example, you don't want to be taking Travis Etienne Jr. over 2.5 receptions at, minus 115, minus 137 when Caesars is giving you plus money, right? Making money sports betting is all about finding an edge, right? Using data, sports betting data to find a leg up. And if you're placing bets at minus 115, when there's another sportsbook in your state offering plus 100, you're screwed. You're never going to make money sports betting because you're getting 15% worse prices, right? Every sharp bettor knows, you got to have multiple accounts. You got to be looking at the odds, line shopping, making sure you're finding value. Literally sports betting 101. Anyone who wants to be profitable, what you'll hear over and over again is get multiple sportsbooks because you need to shop, right? You need to browse odds because every sportsbook prices the exact same bet differently, which is pretty fascinating if you think about it, right? You essentially have all these different operators running around trying to set prices on the exact same bet, right? So it's pretty fascinating. Like here, we got Dallas over 3.5 receptions is ranging from minus 106 to minus 148. It would be a disaster to play this minus 148. That'd be like 40% worse than minus 106. Horrible. But anyways, what we're looking at is pure value here, right? With Christian Kirk under 5.5 receptions at minus 111 juice. So the value is very clear, right? DraftKings has this minus 140. Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, they have this juice to minus 154. So basically every single sportsbook is telling us like, yo, you want to hammer that under. And then the second pick we can look at is, so we can go ahead and we can pull this up. So we wanted Kirk, and then we want him over, or under, I apologize, under 5.5 receptions. So that's the first pick we want, right? Minus 111 is the price that we're getting. And you can see all the bookmakers basically have this as a heavy favorite, right? Sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. So when, Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, is pricing something at minus 154, and they have, the over at plus 116, they're telling you, the under, according to our models, all the action we're seeing out of the millions of dollars we're taking in player prop bets, we believe this should be priced at minus 131, right? And we're getting minus 111. So that's what positive EV betting is all about, right? It takes the BS out of sports betting. You're using real-time market data to find edge, find line discrepancies where you have a clear leg up because the sportsbook, in this case Thrive, is asleep at the wheel, right? So this minus 111, we're going to hammer that for sure. So that's the first play we want to go with, right? Absolutely want to go with. Second play, give me that, right? Like Corey Kluber over 3.5 strikeouts at minus 111. Are you kidding me? Like just pure value, right? Like you don't need to know anything about Corey Kluber. When every sportsbook is pricing this as a heavy, heavy favorite and you're getting it minus 111, that's what it's all about. So what we want to do now is switch over to MLB, and we want Kluber, what was it? Over 3.5 strikeouts, and then we want Christian Kirk under 5.5 receptions. So we're betting, let's see how much they take, $1,000. Let's go. So they took it. So this bet, if we could calculate the profit margin of this bet very briefly, but I mean, this is just absolutely insane value, right? Like we're betting 1,000 to win 2.6K in profit. And both of the bets just have ridiculous value. This bet has a 5% profit margin. This bet has a 4.24% profit margin. So the EV, or the value of our Thrive entry, is probably like $100, right? If you just add 5% and 4%, not actually correct, but roughly 10% profit margin roughly on this Thrive entry, we bet $1,000, that's $100. So we're going to go ahead and refresh, and we'll see what else is out there. And yeah, we need to turn these filters back off. So pretty crazy, these two picks in general. Here we can see there's some value in, Kenneth Walker, receiving yards, there's some Claypool. What you can also look at is the middle betting tool. So I love this tool because this tool will show you like, where are sportsbooks setting the line at different levels? So here we can see, Kenneth Walker, so we can take a peek at this. And then we can also look at Damian Harris. That's the second one. Like this tool essentially shows you like, hey, like whatever, like sportsbooks are setting the lines at different levels. So for example, you can see here, it's like FanDuel has his line at 47.5, PrizePicks 46.5. Like this is why it's critical to line shop. Sportsbooks can't even figure out what this guy's rushing yards line should be at. So, where's Thrive? Minus 111, over 50.5, maybe worth dabbling, maybe not incredible. So what we can do, as kind of another example of how good this bet is, our first bet is we can go here and we can look up Kluber, right? So if we took this pitcher, so we are betting 1,000 to win 3.6K. If we took him over 3.5, and then we wanted, what was our second pick? So our second pick was if we go back here in the, what was it? It was in the Eagles game, Christian Kirk under 5.5 receptions. So if we go back here, man, Vikings. So if we go to the Eagles game starting at 1, we go to player props, and then we want receptions, and we want to take a look at Christian Kirk, right? This is plus 172. 100 to win 270 versus 100 to win 360, right? So 1,000 to win 2.7 grand, right? Like, sports betting isn't about winning every bet. It's about finding value, beating the VIG, and beating the bookmakers long term. If you're trying to make $1 million today, can't help you with that, right? That's not the goal of this YouTube. The goal is to, really strip out the BS of sports betting and kind of show you how to find value, how to actually make money, how to actually get an edge long term. And it really is about finding these spots where we're getting 1,000 to win 3.6K, and the rest of the world is betting 1,000 to win 2.7K on sports books. So Damian Harris prop, I'll skip over. The second one we wanted to look at was Kenneth Walker. So, it's like maybe some value, who knows? Like Pinnacle has the under favored. I mean, like we can see BetOnline has the under 8 favored. We can get under 9.5 for Kenneth Walker. DraftKings has this minus 125. Maybe a little good, right? I mean, I'm not sure. So these, there are some cases where it's a little less clear, right? Like in this case, it's like Pinnacle has this minus 144. So the true odds with the VIG removed, they have this minus 144 plus 108. So their true line with the VIG removed would be minus 123. We're getting minus 111. So this bet looks great, right? BetOnline, they have the under 8.5 favored. So this is a play we'll go with. So what we can do is we can go back here, and then we can go to Kenneth Walker, and we can say, okay, we want him under 9.5 receiving yards, right? Clear value here. Sportsbook shading the under, great. And then what we can do is we can say, okay, what other plays? What do we want to pair it with, right? And on ThriveFantasy, you could go Claypool. Here the profit margin's a little lower. There's Richie James. There's different stuff you can pair it with. Or we could just say Christian Kirk, So we could just go, okay, we're taking some more Christian Kirk under 5.5 receptions. So now we have 2 unders in the NFL. Cannot invest over $1,000 on a single full game prop. Okay, so we got to get rid of Christian Kirk. But you get the point, like you can look for more props. Maybe you end up pairing it with, Richie James or Corey Kluber. Or you can see some new ones popping in here, and you can figure out what you like, right? This one seems great. How do we feel about, Claypool over 3.5 receptions? Maybe you want to dabble there, but I'll call it here. So again, the play I got open is going to be right here. 2 picks to win 2.6K. Let's make some money, guys.